The one, the only, Bencio Land.
Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Ideally speaking, today we continue this book, 10 Really Dumb Mistakes That Very Smart Couples Make by Rabbi and Sion Schaefer. I mentioned in the last lecture that he was spot on, and for 2 lectures in a row, he's spot on again. We're doing now chapter 5, the first half. We'll split into 2 parts. He's titled For Women Only, and he talks about things that, I was reading the chapter. A guy walks by. I thought he only spoke Hebrew, read Hebrew. He said, "For women only, you can't read it." Now, of course, the author intended for men to read this also. But what he's pointing out, over here is that there are certain things that women think about men, and certain things men think about women, or things they know. Men like to think they know what women think, and women like to think that they know what men think. I don't know if this is actually true, but he brings a story here. There was a book published several years ago that became a bestseller. It was called Everything Men Know About Women. The book sold over 1 million copies. Women all over the world bought it because they felt it did a great job describing the way men understood women's emotions. The book was blank. Nothing in it. 200 empty pages with nothing printed on them. Women would pick it up, see nothing inside, and start laughing. See, that's what I've been saying all along. What does my husband know about me? Nothing. True. It's true. But what he adds in, right, Schaefer, and I'm very impressed with this, is, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just the frum world, or maybe it's the entire world, everyone puts the blame on the men. The men get all the blame for the marriages, for bad marriages. It's all the man's fault. The men are terrible husbands, they're terrible fathers. They don't provide for their wives. They don't nurture their wives. They don't give love to their wives. The women get off easy. The women get off very easy. No one ever, you go to any marriage therapist, always blame the husband. Always the husband's fault. But just like men don't know a darn thing about women, women don't know a darn thing about men. And he tells you what men think or women think in this chapter. And we know this. We all know these things. He says basically, women want love much more than respect, and men desire respect much more than love. The problem is that when you're married to someone of the other sex, the other gender. And a woman, when she wants to show that she cares about her husband, what does she do? She shows him love. And when a man wants to show that he cares about his wife, he shows her respect. But it doesn't work that way, because women don't want the respect, they want the love. And men don't want the love so much, they want the respect. And it's actually a very cute picture diagram over here. You see over here. It's a picture of a woman shopping for a card for her birthday. I guess maybe the anniversary for her husband's, maybe Valentine's Day. And it says, there's a card that says, "I respect you," and she's holding the card, "I love you." And he says that all Hallmark is to blame. They're all written from the woman's perspective. The man doesn't want a card that says that she loves him. He wants the card that says that I respect you. Now, women know this. They're taught many times, give your husband respect. She wants to do what her husband wants. She wants to respect him. She wants to listen to his decisions, the way he runs the house. She wants to do this. And men also want to show love. They know women want love. They want to show love to women. But they just don't know how, because they're men. That's the problem. The problem is, and he outlines it very well written, very well, this half a chapter that I'm reading over here. It's written extremely well. He's extremely, at least according to my opinion, extremely precise and exact. He even talks over here. He has another cute picture over here. It's basically, she's walking up to the chuppah and she has a fix-it list. Things that a woman's going to fix in her husband. Because women like to do that. I always say this. Men like to compete. Or they're meant to compete. That's what men do. They compete in sports, other types of debates. Who can get the most women. And women associate. They nurture, they care for each other. And one of the ways of caring for other women is to help them, give unsolicited advice, to help them fix things. And women, when you offer a woman advice, a woman offers another woman advice, they'll a lot of times graciously accept that advice because they're not looking to be better than the other woman. They're looking to improve, to get something better. Oh, this looks nice. They'll ask other women's opinions. Does this look nice on me? Does this look nice? Well, I'll tell you what looks nice on you. Or the woman will say, this would look gorgeous on you. Now, even though women like to compete when it comes to men, but when they're with themselves and there's no man involved, they'll associate. And one of the ways of associating is fixing, helping other people, giving unsolicited advice, helping them. But men hate it. Every woman does this when they get married. I want my husband to be better at this. If they marry, let's say in my sector, you marry an ultra-Orthodox guy, a Haredi guy, so no matter what, you got a problem with the guy. If the guy is the same way as he was before he got married, and he's learning 3 Siddharim, and he's never in the house, and he's a big masmid, and he's medactic in halacha, and he has all the chumras. And the wife has complaints against her husband. Aren't you supposed to have time with me? There's no time for you. Isn't that the mitzvah in the Torah also? Aren't you supposed to, not have fear in the house? Why aren't you makel in the halachas? Why aren't you ask a rabbi? And a lot of times, more than the other extreme is when men get married, they slacken off a little bit from their being punctual at minyanim exactly 10 minutes before the minyan, or exactly on time at the minyan, or they sleep late, or they miss a seder and kollel. They're losing my olam haba. How could they do this to me? And the woman's constantly waking the man up in the morning. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. And they tell the man, men don't know how to dress. That's true. Most men don't know how to dress. They're telling the man, you look terrible. Get those shoes, get a new hat, get shoes, get a new shirt, get a new suit. They're right. They're right and they're wrong. They're right. The men should dress better, but they're wrong for giving unsolicited advice and constantly telling their husband what to do. Men do not want to hear that. Women want to hear that from other women, but men do not want to hear that from other women. And that's basically what he says in this first half of the chapter, is that it erodes your marriage. It doesn't destroy the marriage, but the husbands get sick of this. And this is really what this chapter is all about, that even though, yes, the responsibility of the marriage is upon the man, and he is the one who has to initiate, and he's the one that has to bring love into the relationship, bring fun into the household, bring, parnasa and, make sure things are stable, take care of things that need to be fixed. It's the woman's job to make herself, or to keep herself attractive. And it's not just about how she looks, which is also very, very important. We'll talk about that, I think, in the second half of this chapter. But in terms of her personality, and there's nothing more annoying to a husband than a woman who keeps on giving advice to her husband. You could do this better. It's true. They might be right, 100% right. You would look better like this. Don't speak like that. Don't say this. Don't tell your husband what to do. Don't do it. I'm a husband. I know it. My wife is just like every other woman that does it. But if you want a successful marriage and you're a woman, the more you can control yourself, the better your marriage is going to be. Not only does it hurt the husband, right? It makes the woman less attractive. That's the point people don't realize. It makes the woman unattractive. A woman wants to be loved, right? A man is going to naturally love a woman who he's attracted to. When a woman gets on his nerves and tells him what to do, besides the fact that she's disrespecting him, she's also a nudge, and she's making herself unattractive to him. And that's the biggest crime there is for a woman. A woman has a responsibility to keep herself attractive. She does. Men, not so much. Because if a man loves a woman, even though he's 50 pounds overweight, and you see this a lot, men get married, they eat a lot. It happened to me also. I weighed 185 pounds when I was married. I ballooned up to 220, my peak, a couple months ago. I was in America, but now I took it down to about 208 now, hopefully going down to 200. But men pick up weight. A woman would like it if their husband were skinnier, but if they show them love, that's all they need. But if a woman's going to put on 50 pounds, it's not attractive for the man. Women got to realize that. You're destroying your marriage. You're not all men are so loyal. We live in a pristine, naive world, at least some of us. Even in the frum world, people cheat on their wives. And the reason they cheat on their wives Besides the fact that it's an internal need for every man to have multiple women, but more often than not, it's because he finds his wife unattractive, and that's not just. It's definitely in her appearance, and if she doesn't take care of her appearance, she doesn't practice good hygiene, right? That's so important for a woman. You got to practice good hygiene. You have to smell good. You have to take care of your body. I think that's when we should shower every night. I shower every night. I take care of my hygiene exceedingly well. I dress very well. I've learned. Listen, my wife taught me how to dress. I am a humble person, so I listen to even my wife's advice. And I said, listen, she's giving me advice. I learned. I listened from it. Now I have a good sense of how to dress. But, you know, it's so important for a woman to keep good hygiene and to keep her appearance good, and even and equally as important, to keep herself from being disrespecting her husband. The less she disrespects her husband, the more he's not going to hate her. If she doesn't disrespect him at all, it doesn't mean she's going to love her, but it erodes and it weakens the love, makes her much less attractive when she keeps on nudging him and telling these things. And women should know that. And a lot of times, women are the ones that ruin their husbands. Now, yes, if you're a man, you got to be a man. Women are going to do this, no matter who. Because the point is that no matter how much people can tell you this, you can read this chapter 100 times. But when it comes to real life, when it comes to going back to your house with your husband and wife in a closed room together, in a closed house together, you just can't, just because I know things isn't the way, you act the way you feel. You know, when I got married, I didn't know so much about giving chocolates and flowers. A lot of times my wife would give me gifts of chocolates. She'd buy a lot of times chocolates for me. I like chocolate, but every time, you know, a lot of times she would buy chocolate for me. And I'm like, I don't really need this much chocolate, you know. I didn't say that, but I don't really need that much chocolate. Finally, I realized, no. The gifts that a woman gives to me is what she wants to receive from me. And I started realizing she wants chocolate. It's still hard for me to feel now's the time when she will want chocolate. I try every now and then to give her chocolate, to buy her flowers. But it's not something I can feel. I can't feel my wife needs flowers. I can't feel my wife needs chocolate now. But she sure knows. She sure wants those flowers. She sure wants those chocolates. So it's very hard. You can know intellectually, but you can never recreate the feeling because you're a man. Men feel the way men feel, and women feel the way women feel. So it's very difficult to overcome these problems. But I will say this, at least for the men out there, you are going to be disrespected when you get married, and it's your choice. Yes, it's the woman. She's making herself unattractive. She's disrespecting you. But you can either man up and take the criticism. And a lot of times the criticism that she's giving you is true. Sometimes it's annoying and she's wrong and she should lay off. But a lot of times it's true, you know, especially about how you dress and things like that. You know, she knows, because women know what's attractive to women, right? A man should dress in a way that's attractive to women. The way a woman dresses, what looks good on a woman, is what's attractive to men. A man who dresses good wears stuff that's attractive to women. I saw this on a Steve Harvey. He was talking about, some guy asked him on one of his shows, Ask Steve or whatever. And he said, I don't know, people tell me I have to dress better, but, you know, I like to dress in jeans and, you know, a t-shirt or whatever. So, Steve Harvey, he besides being a very sharp mind, he likes to dress very fancy. And he wears vests and very elaborate suits. His wardrobe probably costs a lot of money, what he puts on. But he makes sure to dress well. He says, he had a great line to the guy. He said, listen, I might be uncomfortable in what I wear, but as long as women think that I dress nice, I've hit the jackpot. That's what he said. If I look good to women, I don't care what I look to other men. If men think, oh, that would be too uncomfortable to wear, or they don't even notice. Men wouldn't notice if a man dresses well. You don't really notice. A man can't notice unless you dress well, and if you dress well, so you can determine who's dressed well, who's not dressed well. 90% of men have no clue how to dress, but you know, that's something you can control. And if the wife tells you, you're not looking good, you could listen to her. But his point is that that's the way you should dress. You should dress the way it looks good in the woman. You could fix that. You could listen to your wife if you want. That's up to you. You could either ignore it, get into a fight about it every time she says it, because the advice, she's not coming from a place of disrespecting you. She's coming from a place of being a woman, of caring and nurturing and wanting to help her friend, her best friend. You're her best friend. At least she thinks you're your best friend. She wants you to be her best friend. So she's helping you as a best friend. But, you could either ignore it and get angry at her or start listening to her. And again, women are much better at navigating this world. They make quicker decisions, better decisions than men. So ultimately, they're going to give you advice. They're going to be better than you. You could either abuse them, yell at them every time they give you this unsolicited advice and hate them even more, or you could be a man and learn from them and actually do something which is the ultimate goal, is to earn the respect of the woman. That's the highest thing you can do, is to actually earn the respect. And yes, I was reading Mishpacha magazine, the women's one, Family First. Yes, I do read it sometimes. Sometimes it's more interesting than the men one. There was a letter writer this past week who wrote in something, this idea about complaining about their husbands or whatever. And her point is that, we have to take our husbands for who they are, and just like we don't want our husbands, complaining to us, because women have these moods also. My emotions are running crazy today, and I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like doing that, because I'm a woman, and they always blame it on their emotions, and they say, I'm too emotional to do this, too emotional to do that. You can never relate to my emotions. Women get high, they get low, they're very emotional. I'm going through a difficult time over here. Just like we want the benefit of doubt, our husbands to give us the benefit of doubt, we have to give our husbands the benefit of doubt also. And let them be who they are. If they wake up a little late, they wake up a little late. If they, they don't go to Minion one day, they don't go to Minion one day. Get off their back. If they don't earn so much money right away, or they're not earning enough money, give them a chance, get off their back. But she's right, and that's the point here also. But the highest thing is that you can earn a woman's respect. You can earn women's respect. The letter writer wrote, it's impossible to find a man who does all these things right? That he's organized, and he's financially secure, he's earning a nice living, and he's punctual, and he takes care of everything he should be taken care of, and he's well groomed and well hygiene. We could talk about these things. You could talk about these things. They say you're not going to find a man like that. Like he writes over here, this woman, this picture of her on their checklist. When they go out, before women go out, they have a checklist of 10 things they're looking for a boy. But to be that, it's possible. It is possible to be that guy who crosses off all the things in the checklist. Now, most times when people go out, they'll see on a date, oh, he crosses all the things in the checklist. When they get married, none of them are really true. But it is possible to do all those things, to be a responsible person, to be an assertive man, to earn a good living, to be well groomed, to be punctual, to be organized. It's possible to be that. And then if you do all those things and you're good at making decisions, eventually your wife will respect you. She has no more advice to offer to you because you do everything better than her. And part of that is also learning to do the chores of a woman, right? Women have certain chores, classical, traditional chores that a woman does. Child rearing and cleaning the house and cooking, doing the laundry. But if you're a man and you want to do those things just as good as the woman, and you're good at being a man, then you'll earn the respect of your wife. And every woman will respect you. Any woman will respect you. Because you could be that. You could be that complete man. Ultimately, it's for a good purpose, to drive you to be that complete man. I'm just talking from the perspective of a man. A woman also should, she could earn that love, right? She wants love more than anything else. The more she takes care of herself, the less she criticizes. She can make herself more lovable to her husband, and reciprocate, she'll receive more love from her husband. So ultimately, it's difficult. It's difficult, right? We criticize the women for criticizing their husband, and we criticize the men for not loving their wives. But I think the point of this chapter is that women are responsible to make themselves lovable, and men are responsible to earn their respect. Hope you enjoyed today's lecture. See you in the next one.